following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
This is Talkin Cowboys. Streaming live from the Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star in Frisco.
Handoff, Elliott plowing to the goal line. Barry, sacked by Lawrence. Prescott keeps it, and he bangs it in for the touchdown.
And now your hosts, Isaiah Stanback, Heckma Harrison, Rob Phillips, and Kyle Yeomans.
It is a wonderful Wednesday edition of Talking Cowboys, presented by Tostitos, the official chip and the official dip of the Dallas Cowboys. Go get you some. I like that. We've got Talking Cowboys here over the next 45 minutes, and we are breaking down plenty over that time period, including the Week 4 matchup with the Carolina Panthers coming up on Sunday. We've got Heckma Harrison, as always, Isaiah Stanback,
hello,
Rob Phillips. I'm Kyle Yeomans. Chris Beam, when we were getting ready for the show, was literally singing with joy because of how excited he was of how this podcast was going to go.
Did you watch Disney Plus last night, Chris?
It was
where you got your inspiration from?
No, I did
Hakuna
not watch
Matata.
No, I did not watch Disney Plus.
Chris, I appreciate it.
Chris is on point, but we are glad you're with us. And let's go ahead and start things off by a little bit of newsworthy hits from Rob Phillips here over in the corner. Rob, I mean, we heard from Mike McCarthy yesterday. It was pretty much good news for injury statuses moving forward, right?
Yeah, it sounds like it. I mean, he said they got some guys banged up, so we'll see what the injury report actually looks like. But it sounded like Malik Cooper came out of the game okay. He played a ton of snaps in the game. Just didn't have a ton of catches. Didn't need him to, actually. We got some clarity on the guys on IR. So there's a few guys that are eligible to come back this week. Josh Ball, Sean McCune, Neville Gallimore, Kelvin Joseph. Nobody's ready yet.
Out of those four?
Nobody's ready yet.
Wow.
Mike said I think it's going to be at least a couple weeks for all of them. Maybe a few weeks for Kelvin Joseph, which is that's disappointing, but he's making progress, he says. But so they're just holding. They're going to wait until guys are closer because you don't want to start that 21-day clock where they can start practicing until they're about ready to come back. So we'll see. But that's too bad because I think everybody wants to see what Boss Man's got.
Question.
Yes.
The way that this league works, right, in terms of transactions, whenever somebody comes off of IR, room has to be made for them to come back on the roster. Is that correct?
Correct.
So how many guys do we have to make room for that are for sure going to come back into this roster at some point this season?
Probably at least 3. I don't know about Josh Ball. I mean, maybe it's a redshirt year for him. I'm not sure exactly where he's at with his ankle. But
especially with the play of Terrence Steele, I feel like you feel better at that spot than you would initially because I thought Ball was brought in to compete for the swing tackle job with Ty Nsekhe and Terrence Steele. Well, Nsekhe hasn't been a factor because of his health, and then you have Terrence Steele, who all of a sudden is one of the better offensive tackles in football the last 2 weeks. I mean, according to Pro Football Focus. So, yeah, I don't know if Ball's going to play a lot. I mean, he would even be active.
He could be back and activated, but I think the chance for him to be the swing tackle, that ship has sailed for year one. I mean, Terrence Steele, 2 weeks in a row, we talked about it yesterday in the office. I mean, he played well.
No, and Terrence Steele is looking scary good right now at the swing tackle, answering our prayers for what we needed. But I think the shade that you're throwing right now, if nobody picked up on that,
he's going a direction here.
I'm just saying there has to be room made. A lot of guys are making plays. We have a lot of depth.
And who are you talking about?
No, just enjoy. I think off the top, I'm thinking there has to be 4 guys.
Right. Okay.
There's 4 guys that are for sure coming back onto this roster. But at the same time, man, I know people are excited about that. Well, the reality is there's 4 guys that have to leave the roster.
And so there are 4 guys right now currently. There's a light at the end of that tunnel, and it's a train.
Yeah, it's not
Roger
not
Rabbit style.
It's a train.
So who are some of the guys that you're looking at in that regard?
I mean, obviously, we got Tristan Hill. He's coming back.
Okay.
We have Gallimore.
Yep.
He's coming back. Kelvin Joseph. He's coming back. Malik Turner. With our special team play as of late, he's coming back.
Forgot about Malik. Yep, that's another one.
So those are my 4 off the top. What else y'all got?
Oh man, that's and
Pretty
so
good for.
who are the guys that is really crazy to be talking about guys on the bubble in season?
Rob,
This is a conversation I didn't expect to have. I mean, where's my roster?
I mean, we're a couple weeks out, right?
Here we are.
At least, I mean, I don't know. I mean, this could be a thing.
It's not all going to happen at the same week, but
Right. And it sounds like it could be after the bye for some guys. I mean, the way it's going, there's only 3 more games till the bye. So I don't know. And here's the thing, too. I hate to say this, but injuries happen.
correct.
COVID is still like a weekly thing around here,
Yeah.
unfortunately. And hopefully that just, there's no fault of anybody's. It's the world we're living in. But that's always lingering out there as, if we got to put somebody on a reserve list, then you can bring somebody back that way. It doesn't always have to be cuts, but you do bring up an interesting point. And it's actually a good thing because it's like, I don't know. I think when we got done with preseason, I don't know if anybody felt super great about depth on this roster at certain spots. And I think what they've been able to do through 3 games, especially on defense, without guys, starters, key contributors, it's been impressive.
Yeah.
I'm impressed.
I guess I bring that up because say everybody stays healthy, scenario-wise, right? Because I think everybody feels pretty good about our depth right now, pretty much at every position. We feel pretty good. Understanding that those guys are coming back, we now have to say, hey, heck, man, you've been playing good, man, but got to make a move with you because, we got Tristan Hill. He's one of our main guys. Gallimore is one of our main guys, so you're odd man out, but you're not hurt, so I can't put you on IR, so I got to put you on practice squad, which means that anybody can come grab you, right? Or how does that work?
You do get 4 protections a week.
Okay,
and I don't know if again, these damn rules.
Yeah, they change every week.
I don't
it
know
feels like.
if you can only protect a guy a certain amount of times, but there is that option, and you do have veteran options on the practice squad, like you said. So there are, it's easier to keep guys around than it used to be.
Yeah.
Thanks to COVID, honestly.
Look at us, just 7 minutes into a week 4 show, and we're talking about taking people's jobs. How about that on Talkin' Cowboys?
It's a reality, man.
Yeah, it is. It's a reality check. And so I tweeted out as the tease to this. I said, reality check and fan calls. We will be taking fan calls coming up here in about 10 minutes or so. But I wanted to get a reality check on this ball club, specifically surrounding the identity, because we've seen it go fluctuating a couple of ways now. Of course, you've seen the ground and pound. The last couple weeks, it's been Ezekiel Elliott, Tony Pollard, dual backfield, and then the passing game has taken a back seat, and the defense has forced some turnovers and gotten you the ball back. Week 1, it was pretty much the complete opposite of that, except for maybe the defense. But I want to ask just each one of you guys, I'll start with Heckma, what is the identity of this team right now? I feel like that's a tough question. It's a loaded question, but if you had to pinpoint it, where would you put it?
And it is a tough question because of the small sample size that we have on this team. I think clearly a blind man can tell you that this offense is explosive, and you know what you're getting from them. But the other thing is just 2 words when I think of the defense is intensity and intentional. And the intentional part is you can see that these guys are focusing in on their responsibility. Do your job. And guys are doing their job. And I believe that when it's something that you hadn't seen around here in a while is that intensity, guys flying around. And you've seen it from the Tampa game, even though we lost that game, the LA game, and now the Philadelphia game, where guys are playing with motor, and it doesn't stop. It doesn't start at the first quarter and then go away at the fourth quarter. It's all the way through. And giving credit to Dan Quinn for that, because I just feel as though looking at him during OTAs and training camp, he spent so much time with the defensive line, right? All you saw was Quinn with the defensive line, and that is the one group that you're seeing the improvements in immediately. And I believe it's just his teaching style, the way that he teaches the defense. It's easy for it to correlate to game time action. So intensity and intentional are 2 things that I'm saying these guys have, and that would be what I would say is what was the question?
Yeah, the identity of
the team.
So Dan Quinn, you mentioned him. I know, Isaiah, you've brought it up in the past about his culture of hands-on learning, his culture of this teaching that's going on. It's something that's refreshing because the Cowboys haven't had that from a defensive coordinator maybe since before Rod Marinelli. Marinelli did that a couple times, but not to the extent of what Dan Quinn has been doing. But is that all it's taken to turn this defense around? I feel like it's got to be more than that, right?
No, we've replaced some guys. You know, I mean, we had a huge offseason last year in terms of acquisitions, but they're all veterans. You know, this year we made a commitment not only to veterans that are proven that understand his system, right, so that you don't have to teach as much. You can actually just adapt, right, and integrate. But now he went out and got how many rookies did we draft? Right,
well, drafted 8 on the defensive
side of the ball. So that so you're intentional, right? To Heckman's point, and intentional about your assignment, about what your plan was, right? How you wanted to approach this thing. You were intentional about the veterans that you decided to bring in. You were intentional about the type of rookies that you wanted to bring in. You intertwine those two things, and along with the culture that you know he's going to instill, and all of a sudden, voila, you have the team. For my word, is competitive. Not only just on that side of the ball, but in all 3 phases, kind of.
You got to have that culture, kind of. Yeah, you got to have that culture of competition too in there as well. And I think the additions of the offseason of guys like Neal and KZ. I mean, KZ is such an underrated signing in my opinion right now. Malik Cooker, who's come out and played exceptionally well. Safety depth is all of a sudden a thing in Dallas, which is something we've never said.
Hey.
I feel like in the history of this show.
And big safeties.
Big safeties. Yeah. Curse has been playing really well, but. What does it seem, or what has that turnaround taken for you in your eyes, Rob?
I think you guys totally agree. It's a combination. It's play style, and it's also an infusion of talent. Not just new guys coming in, but that second-year jump that Mike keeps talking about with guys like CD, obviously on offense, but Trayvon Diggs is now looks like a Pro Bowl caliber player in year 2. So for what we've seen so far, so you're talking about young guys developing. And they just, I mean, guys at key spots that are new are coming in, and Parsons, Osa have made a huge impact. You mentioned the safety play. I mean, they're just getting more. Mike sat down with the local media right before the start of the season and just kind of talked about some different things. And he said something like, "We got some dudes on this team," and he's right. Like on defense, I mean, I know we talked last year they needed more talent. They've got some talent on defense, and then you bring in a scheme and a proven guy that knows what to do with that talent. It's a good mix, and it hasn't been perfect so far, and we can talk about that. But I mean, it's a lot better than last year.
And dude is, for those that don't understand, dude is a synonym for dog. Also, a heck of a player.
Yes.
Okay.
There you go. No, I like that. All right, Isaiah, what's your identity for this ball club?
It was competitive.
Oh, that's you.
That was my word. Yeah, that was my word.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rob?
The turnover margin. I think because people, we talked about the coordinators, and Mike gives all autonomy to his coordinators, and he's more of a walk-around guy. But his history as a head coach is his guys take care of the ball and they force turnovers. And so his identity from the Packers days, that is translated. It wasn't there last year until late in the season, but it's there right now. They lead the league in turnover margin, and some of that in Green Bay was you had an all-time quarterback who didn't turn it over much.
Yep.
But they also forced a lot of turnovers, and that's that play style thing that he talked about daily in training camp, and it's paying off. I mean, you're seeing the imprint right now.
Yeah, I completely agree with all of you guys. And you kind of alluded to it a minute ago. We didn't get a chance to touch on it yesterday, but time management might be a question mark for this ball club and for this coaching staff. And I know a couple of the other shows on DallasCowboys.com hit on it pretty extensively, and of course the local media hit on it extensively. But what did you think about the end of the second quarter? Less than a minute left. It was 4th down. It looked like for the moment Philadelphia was going to punt and or go for it. It was a decision to be made right around midfield. There was no timeout called. The Monday Night Football broadcast said, "What are you doing, Mike McCarthy? You could get the football back here if you really wanted to." I didn't have as big of a problem, I feel like, as a lot of other people did with the decision. But Heckma, what did you think about what the decision was ultimately to have the no timeout call?
I'm kind of with you, Kyle. I think knowing this defense and knowing that they have the big play, giving up the big plays the way that they have, I worry about that every game. And you saw it in the Philadelphia game, those big chunk gash plays that they've been giving up. I think Mike McCarthy is getting this bad rap on time management, and it's followed him from Green Bay when you talk about the turnovers and all this. Other things that have followed him as well. And the critics of Mike McCarthy are going to jump on that at every stop anytime he does that. But did it decide the football game? It did not. But will situations like that decide a football game? Yes. And so I think going back to it's all about situational awareness for me. And you have coaches like Belichick in New England. There's no one ever questions his game management ever because he seems to be on every part of every football game. But then you take guys from the coach from Seattle, the way that he handles certain things in clock management situations. And I just feel as though coaches try to be as perfect as they possibly can, but then there are situations where they can't. I don't want to grill Mike McCarthy for that because I think there are other positive things that he's brought to the table that people are not going to give him any credit for.
I didn't like the decision that he made, but I mean, ultimately, it didn't cost you the game. But it's something that everybody wants to talk about because of the what ifs. We're going to be in some tight battles this year. Everybody knows that at some point in time you're going to have those games, and we don't want to see these types of decisions kind of flourish and kind of turn into something that we become more common. So I didn't like it. I wish we would have been more aggressive and called a timeout and got the ball back and had opportunity to score because they were getting the ball back, if I remember correctly, after the half. Mm-hmm. So anytime that they're getting the ball back and we have an opportunity to try to score, I want to get at least 3 points up on the board. That's
what I'm talking about. Knowing that team was going to get the ball back after half, and if disaster happens, and that's all what if. And I think they had like a 3rd and 27 at the time. I mean, what are the probability of them actually converting on the 3rd and 27? Mike didn't take the opportunity. He went into halftime and left those timeouts on.
So he was comfortable, huh?
He was.
That boy his seat was warm.
That's the thing that I completely agree because that's what people are looking at. You're looking at the what ifs with that situation specifically of, hey, this is a mistake.
Yeah.
I don't think it was a mistake. I think it was a decision.
It was a missed opportunity.
The end of the Chargers game where you almost botched a 56-yard game-winning field goal attempt because of your lack of time management, that was a mistake.
Yeah.
That almost cost you a game. Luckily, it didn't. But then this lingers in. You're up 20-7. You don't want to give up the big play. It's situational awareness.
Kind of
like exactly what
people want to
said.
see your foot on the pedal, Kyle.
Sure.
People want to see you. That's for a lack of another
But if
analogy.
your foot's on the pedal, there's a chance you get in a crash. I'm just saying.
Yeah, guess what?
It's
you
like
got to live your life a quarter
light.
mile at a time, Kyle.
It's like running a yellow light, dude.
Look at you not being scared.
Hey, when you up like that, drag them boys.
No, and your offense is
Toretto.
Drag them boys.
Toretto.
Yeah.
Family. It's all about family.
It's all about family
right now.
We're going to have a movie reference every podcast.
I'm here for it.
Chris has got to get like a ding in the background. Just every time there's a movie reference, it's going to pop up.
But I said, if you're playing Madden, right, and you beating somebody and they have that situation, they're 3rd and long, and you got a minute left, I'm calling timeout. Because I want the ball back.
Yeah, I think it's. You mentioned common. I think that's the thing with fans. Like, I think it's been a cumulative effect because you mentioned the end of game situation against the Chargers. 3 games now, 3 situations at the end of the half where it's like, huh, what? And you can disagree with it if you want, and most people have. And I was surprised by this too. I would have, you couldn't stop this offense. So I thought, just like you said, finish the game right there. Mm-hmm. You basically could have.
I can make people feel better up.
Go ahead.
If you call a timeout right there, Coach Fossil is going to do what?
Go after the punt.
We're going after the punt.
Oh, come on.
So I'm going to make everybody feel better. All right. That would have happened. There's no question about it. That was the decision that would follow that timeout. You were coming after the punt because you want to keep the ball on that side of the 50.
Roughing the punter.
I think what Mike was
15 yards.
So in reality, he saved a call.
Yeah, there you go.
Would have been a field goal at the end.
Exactly.
But I think he was thinking, and he kind of referenced this yesterday, we probably would have been pinned back in our own territory. Look what happened in the first quarter.
Yep.
Javon Hargrave was a problem with the pass rush. Let's not have a repeat of that. And I think he trusts his defense. You couldn't say that last year. I think they looked at this game and said, we don't need to do anything out of the ordinary to win this football game. And last year, some of those special teams decisions, you could call it desperation, whatever. Mm-hmm. They felt like they could just win this game straight up. And they did, and they won by 20 points.
Yeah, and we're still finding something to nitpick, but that's kind of how it goes around these parts. I mean, that's kind of how Dallas rolls. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, we're answering your questions. Call in right now, 888-855-2297. We're going to talk to you when we come back with more Talkin' Cowboys presented by Tostitos.
Honey, big news.
Gary, are you okay?
Oh, I'm not Gary anymore. I'm Jackie Flash.
What?
See, I want the latest smartphone, but the best deals are only for new customers. So, to get a new customer deal, I changed my name to Jackie Flash.
Okay, but the best smartphone deals at AT&T are for everyone, new and existing customers.
That's huge. Then guess who's getting a deal?
Is it Jackie Flash?
Jackie Flash.
It's not complicated. At AT&T, our best smartphone deals are for everyone. Restrictions apply. Visit att.com for details.
New Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar. You deserve it.
I do deserve that.
You deserve decadent flavor without sugar. And a day at the beach without sand getting everywhere. And a relaxing bath that your children don't interrupt.
I deserve all that?
It's really just a visual metaphor for Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar. Everything you want, nothing you don't.
A visual metaphor on the radio. I do deserve that.
Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar. The zero you deserve is finally here.
Before there was a draft, you could size up a cowboy by 3 simple factors: the crease in his hat, the bend of his brim, and his unbending attitude. A man Stetson didn't just protect him from what life threw at him, it projected a rugged, unstoppable spirit. Stetson hats are still American-made with pride right here in Texas. They're still the unofficial crown of all self-respecting cowboys, and Stetson is proud to be on the field with America's team. Find a retailer nearest you at stetson.com/cowboys.
There's nothing as unique as our eyes, which is why Essilor pioneers ways to make lenses as unique as you. Verilux for super sharp vision, Essential Blue for protection, and Crizal for freedom from glare. 3 cutting-edge solutions in a single unique lens. So whatever your needs, insist on Essilor. Visit your local Essilor experts and find the perfect lens for you. See more, do more, Essilor.
Back to Talkin' Cowboys.
It's a great people, great pay replay. You've heard Jason Witten has joined that Caliber Collision team. If you want to join them and do great work with great people for great pay, apply now at jobsatcaliber.com. That's jobsatcaliber.com. It's kind of funny. You know how the conspiracies are, I guess it's even proven that phones and laptops listen to you.
Yes.
I had like Caliber Collision ads all over my laptop yesterday as I was working upstairs. It had Jason Witten on the Caliber Collision. So hey, if Big Brother's looking down and they're trying to get you to join Caliber Collision, you should go ahead and click on that ad and keep going through it. Might as well.
Just go along with it.
You said what?
You just make sure you turn that Alexa off in your house.
Oh gosh, yeah, it's pretty bad. Yeah, I've got a couple of those. Welcome back into Talking Cowboys here on this Wednesday. We're going through reality checks and taking a look back at the Cowboys' win over the Eagles and maybe even a little peek ahead to the Panthers on Sunday. Rob Phillips, Isaiah Stanback, Heckma Harrison, I'm Kyle Yeomans, Chris Beam in the back. And we're taking your fan calls here throughout the next couple of minutes. And I believe Chris has somebody, Bob from Nashville, is on the line. Hey, Bob, you're on Talking Cowboys.
Hey, good morning, fellas.
Good morning, Bob.
Hey, love the direction of the team, offense, defense, everything. My only question, and this is for you guys, is it seems like we really struggle with covering tight ends. And it's something that I think is going to really rear its ugly head as we start playing those teams, KC, who have great tight ends. So I'm concerned with that defensively. But other than that, I love the direction of the defense and where they're at right now. I want to hear your thoughts. Thanks, guys.
Appreciate the call, Bob.
Bob, you must have been in my head because as last night, as I'm watching film and I came in and started having a conversation with Heck, the tight ends for Carolina, I like them. I like them a lot. I like them a lot. And they are going to present a problem for us. So your question that you have will be answered this week because we are going to be challenged. Gronkowski is a specimen. Let's not even act like anybody can guard him or tame him. These guys they come at you in bundles. They got 3 tight ends that all are very active in their offense. They all give 1,000% effort, and we are going to be tested in that regard. So to your question, we will find out this week.
No, and I love our big nickel. When we go big nickel and we have Curse in the ball game, his ability to stay on those seam routes, which a lot of tight ends like to run, option routes, anything that gives you visibility for the quarterback. I think we we're proving that we can get in, be in a situation to stop those tight ends. Now we're getting into the territory like Bob just mentioned, where we're going to see some really good tight end play. And as you showed me basically before the show, that the Panthers have some tight ends that we have to worry about. And so, look, I think for this defense, the number one thing is sticking to the script, stopping the run, making sure that we don't give up any of that. And then going into this week, you realize the Panthers don't have McCaffrey, possibly. Don't want to get too far ahead on that, but I'm just saying, defensively, I think we present problems for the offense so that, look, you got to get the ball out as quickly as possible. And if you can jump those, then I like our success with our linebackers because we've had such good play and production from those guys.
I totally agree, Bob. I think segment 3 we were going to talk about like concerns, and that's covering tight ends was going to be one of mine because it's not just the coverage part of it. I think Ertz's 3-yard touchdown in the third quarter, they just lost him. You know, I don't know what the coverage bust was there or what the assignment was, but this kind of goes back to like 2019. They had trouble covering tight ends all the way back to Marinelli's last year. I do think Kearse's addition helps in that regard, but we've seen it already. I mean, Chargers had, they did a pretty good job on Jared Cook. Yeah. But, Gronkowski's a problem. You're right about Carolina, and there's more guys on the schedule.
Got Darren Waller down the line. You've got Travis Kelce down the line.
Those are the top 2.
Yep. Yeah. You've got some good tight ends on this roster. I think Neal could add to that. Neal's addition could be better for covering tight ends.
Yes.
He was unavailable this week. He was definitely available against Los Angeles.
Yeah, I like Neal. I just feel as though Neal's particular strong suit is covering out in the flat.
Yeah.
Covering out in the flat and
sideline.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to say. I think in a one-on-one situation, I think he gets exposed. So I know where you're going with that. I just like him better out in the flat with running backs.
I don't necessarily disagree.
And Bob, my concern, and we'll address some of our other shows this week as well, but my concern with Carolina, this is just a concern, is our ability. I'm confident in our big nickels' ability to stick on tight ends when they have their hand in the ground. There's 2 different elements to sticking a tight end, right? Heck, when you put your hand in the ground, 3-point stands, I can stand over you, right over your head, and guess what? I'm gonna make it more challenging on you.
But if I come up,
but if you stand up, now you can release. Now you can release like a receiver, right? Now you could use your strength to your advantage. Now I can't get on top of you, right? While you're trying to raise up and stand up and run, you're already in a running position. The game changes, right? Your ability to get out the gate and run immediately changes. So I'm interested to see how we handle that because that is what Carolina does. Carolina runs a lot of 11 personnel. They're going to always have a tight end in the game. A lot of times they run 12 as well because they like to use all their tight ends, but those guys like to be detached. They like to be separate from the offensive line. They like to be their own person. So to us, to the viewer, it looks like 4 wide receivers, 4 wide, but it's really 3 wide and a tight end.
Yeah.
And Quinn brought up yesterday, he was asked about probably not having McCaffrey in this game, and he said, "Look, the production's going to have to go to somebody else, and not just Hubbard. Obviously he would be the starter, but they've got to supplement that production somewhere, and a lot of it's passing game too. McCaffrey is so good in that area as well.
He can do so many things, and you see it on the film, and you see it year in and year out. Teams know it's coming, and they still can't stop it. Still can't stop it.
And how do they replace that production though? It's going to be interesting how they
spread it out.
It's going to be DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson. I think they're going to go all over the place. It's going to be fun to watch. Hopefully later after this week. Let's talk about week 5, week 6 down the line. All right, Rocky from South Carolina is on the line. You're almost in enemy territory. What you got for us on Talkin Cowboys?
Well, I just want to say I'm a long-time listener, and I'm going to keep it quick here. One, that was definitely a touchdown with Dak Prescott.
Rocky, I'm with you, Rocky. I'm with you.
That's right, man. And I just want to know, do you think that Jabril Cox gets worked in the lineup at all? Because I feel like he could help out on a little bit of coverage with the tight ends and probably add some pressure as well. And I'll just leave it at that.
All good. Appreciate it, Rocky.
Thanks for the call, Rocky. We have some really smart listeners. Because these were the concerns we were talking about off air, and it's like, bam.
Yep.
You know,
There you go.
the
Tight
problem
ends.
with that, Kyle, is that you'd say we have some dumb listeners too. You give the positive. That's how truthful. No, you're truthful.
Maybe it's just dumb hosts. That's
that's not where I was going.
Hey, Rock. Hey, great question. And to answer your question, I believe we will see a lot more Jabril Cox this week. I think we'll see a lot less Vander Esch and a lot less Jalen Smith this week, just because what they do well doesn't necessarily net us that advantage against this particular team. That's just my view. I'm not saying that you don't use them, but I'm saying it's more Tampa Bay usage than it is Chargers usage.
I don't know. I don't know if I see him getting a lot of run. He was in there a little bit, I think. He got a few snaps.
Well, and that's what he was drafted out of college for, was his coverage ability as a linebacker. I mean, that was
like a safety almost.
He was a legit coverage linebacker at LSU. So I like the idea, but I think I'm with you. I don't know how much he rotates in, because you can still find something similar from the other guys you have.
I think it could be another curse game where he's playing the entire game. And
but you're going to need two of those guys.
Yeah, and Neal, to your point, I don't know if he's back from COVID list this week. So
I mean, in the event that those are our realities where we don't have Neal, then Jabril Cox would be the next best thing. I mean, at some point, guys, I've been lobbying for our younger guys to get a little bit more burn, but they haven't. And like Kyle just said, out of college, that was his main thing, his ability to stick tight ends. And so when we get the question about being burned by tight ends and you have a guy that does that, hey, let's see.
Kind of like you got him.
Kind of like it. But I think the evaluation process for this team happens every day. And if guys were showing it in practice, I think they would be doing it in the game.
And I strongly believe that our approach offensively and defensively, we special teams, we're still figuring that out, is we are going to meet our opponents where they are at. And so if Jabril Cox provides us the most leverage this week, then guess what? Jabril Cox will be out there. Mm-hmm. Whatever we see line up out there on Sunday will be exactly what our coaches believe gives us the best option. And it's not like other rosters. Other rosters, like, these are our guys and we just have to adapt based upon whatever we face. That's not how we operate this year. We have the personnel to match your personnel, and whatever we think works, that's what we'll put out there.
And Dan Quinn's shown he's willing to adjust.
Absolutely.
It's not, I don't know if I want to move Micah Parsons to defensive end this week, because I don't know in the past if they would have done that and said, look, you're rushing the entire game because this is the matchup we like, and that's what they've done.
It's matchup ball.
Matchup ball, man.
Something you haven't seen.
Yep.
And Dan Quinn, once again, he's alluded to it all the way back to training camp. So
I put all guards out there. I'm not leaving my big man out there.
Yep. I love it. Adjust, react, and keep
Adapt,
on.
baby.
Yeah, keep on adapting. All right, Kevin from Pennsylvania is on the line. Kevin, how's it going?
Mr. Kyle Yeomans, it's K-Mess from Birdsburg.
Oh, what's up, K-Mess?
My friend.
How's it going? Did you have some
on?
fun up there? I'm sure you had some fun up there this week.
I had to call you guys this week. So Kyle knows I am a diehard, lifelong Dallas Cowboys fan who lives in the Philadelphia area, married to an Eagles fan.
God bless you.
You're welcome.
I do a podcast called Birds vs. Boys, which is me and an Eagles fan. So this week I was locked in a boxing ring with two Eagles fans live streaming this game in Atlantic City.
He's talking about a literal boxing ring. Like, he's actually in a boxing ring at like a bar, and it was literally them two.
That's dope.
Through the whole game.
And it was awesome. This has been just such a phenomenal week. I can't remember a game that has given me such joy in a long time.
Kevin, man, dude, you're my hero. I mean,
he's doing the Lord's work.
Yeah, I'm telling you, that's exactly what he's doing, because I can only imagine. Like, for me, that's like as a Cowboy fan, you want to test your mettle, go to a Cowboys Philly game in Philly. Let's make it out.
So Kevin, like Mighty Mix and Rocky.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm guessing you enjoyed that Cowboys Twitter post at the end with the T-shirt, huh?
Oh, without a doubt, because I actually saw a couple of people wearing those shirts around here, and it's over. I mean, come on. And now I get to go this week to the Eagles-Chiefs game for my sister-in-law's birthday. So I'm having way too much fun. I had to enjoy it with you guys. But I did have one question moving forward. So, I mean, I've been loving what I'm seeing from the defense, especially from Odighizuwa. Do we know about Neville Gallimore's recovery? Because I can't wait to see the two of them. This team has to find a way to get the two of them on the field together, correct? Once he's healthy?
Oh, for sure. for sure. I mean, I think Osa's definitely in the rotation when he comes back, and he will be back. But it's not going to be. I don't know if it's going to be before the bye. We'll see. Mike said all the guys on IR. It's going to be at least a couple more weeks. But he's been out there doing some rehab stuff at the start of practice when we've been out there, and he's looked good. He's working with Britt, so he's making progress.
Yeah, I'm excited for everything this defense. It's just so refreshing seeing guys on our defense getting their hands on the ball, because we never see that, and then taking it into the end zone. I mean, I love it. You guys keep doing what you're doing. I listen up here. Trust me, you guys got a following all across this country. So keep doing what you're doing, and I'll keep putting up the good fight up here.
I got you, man. That's awesome, man, Kevin.
He's doing great work out there. K-Mess is the guy. And I mean, Birds versus Boys is their podcast. If you wanted to see some jawing back and forth, that's one thing. I mean, we think Heckma and Isaiah go after it every now and again, but awesome. No, that's not the case.
The question is, do they bring those shirts back out when we play them again?
There's no way.
God, that's a great question.
Or do you just throw those away? Or do you put them away in your drawer?
You got to stay true to it. Like, once you've done it, you can't go away from it now. You're all in.
So you think they put it back on?
I think you have to.
What's the internal conversation when they pull that shirt out the drawer?
I feel like a loser.
They have like the little rinky-dink drawer that probably pulls out. You know, the one you got to jingle a little bit. You know what I mean?
To get it on the rails.
Just get on the rail. Sometimes not even on the rail. Sometimes you just lift it up and just pull and set it back down. And then you got to dig down in there, and then they pull it out. You know what I'm saying, Robin? They pop it a couple times and they look at it.
It smells like wood.
Last time I put this on,
it's a little musty, and it's like flashbacks.
Yeah, flashbacks. Like, do you put that on?
You got to commit. You got to commit.
Wow.
You got to stay true.
Do you think they're that loyal?
You know,
they're gonna have to be.
I appreciate the loyalty from these two gentlemen because of saying, "Hey, let's go back out." But you got your butt whipped.
Yeah,
you got your.
There was no hope.
I don't want to. I mean, I could cuss there, but I'm not going to. No. You got just destroyed on national television, and everyone in the country knew that was a thing.
Did you say? What? Sometimes you say stuff that I don't get to later, and I'm sorry, I've delayed reaction.
What did he say?
Nope, not gonna
say it. I didn't hear it. I was too adamant. All right, we're going to take our second break. Special thanks to all those who gave us some fan calls. We'll do that every week here on Talkin Cowboys. But when we come back, what are our concerns going into week 4 of the NFL season? We'll answer that when we come back.
Hi, I'm Clint Tillison with United Ag and Turf. Before you can park yourself in front of the game, park yourself in a John Deere and power through your chores. Our Land Run package is a 1025R, 25 horsepower tractor with a loader, rotary cutter, and a box blade for $229 a month. And the price you see is the price you'll pay, no surprises. So don't miss another kickoff.
Visit UnitedAgAndTurf.com. Offer ends February 1st, 2021. Restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
Now let's get to work.
The Cowboys way, where 16 Hall of Famers and 5 championships shows us what success looks like. Where turkey is always the second best part of Thanksgiving Day. Where we are all defined by one single thing, the star. Where we as fans know it's our job to keep the tradition going. Bank of America is proud to be the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys and to support the quest of living life the Cowboys way.
Copyright 2020, Bank of America Corporation.
Want to use what the pros use? How about the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black? Right now you can get the Jack Black Starter, a curated collection of Cowboys locker room favorites for just $10 with free shipping. The starter includes 4 Jack Black skincare favorites plus a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Go to getjackblack.com/Cowboys and use the code word TEAMJB. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys. The Jack Black Starter, $10. Free shipping!
Honey, big news.
Gary, are you okay?
Oh, I'm not Gary anymore. I'm Jackie Flash.
What?
See, I want the latest smartphone, but the best deals are only for new customers. So, to get a new customer deal, I changed my name to Jackie Flash.
Okay, but the best smartphone deals at AT&T are for everyone, new and existing customers.
That's huge. Then guess who's getting a deal?
Is it Jackie Flash?
Jackie Flash.
It's not complicated. At AT&T, our best smartphone deals are for everyone. Restrictions apply. Visit att.com for details.
Back to Talkin Cowboys.
Whether you're watching from home or you're cheering in the stands, with Essilor lenses, you can see every exciting play. Book an appointment at your local Essilor experts and see what Essilor can do for you. See more, do more. Essilor on Talkin Cowboys. Heckman's got his Essilor lenses on.
No.
Isaiah's got the read going. I've got my Essilor lenses on. Rob's going to get his sometime in 2024.
One of these days.
Rob.
IRS. It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
I'm going to return the email.
You know
One
what?
of these times.
My daughter has an appointment with Essilor tomorrow. She is excited. Thanks to Rob, in communication, I've been able to stay in touch with the Essilor folks, and I am sending. That's how much I trust Essilor. I'm sending my daughter.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's real.
That's a lot. So the doctor that we saw, I trusted him, and I saw him. My daughter saw him, and now we're going to get some Essilor lenses tomorrow.
Love it.
Going to headquarters. Love it.
Now,
I'll be here with you
great
boys,
people.
but I'm sending the fam.
Was it same perfect vision?
No. My daughter's type 1 diabetic, so she has some stuff. We got to stay on top of. So trusting the people at Essilor to make sure she's
Trust
good.
me, I've been through that too.
Yeah.
So I'm right there with you.
Yeah,
but
buddy.
they're great.
Yeah, they are. They're awesome.
I've been to a lot of eye doctors in my time, and they were right up there.
That's awesome.
And that's not
Good people.
just because it's a read. All right. What are our concerns going into week 4? We've got a first place Dallas Cowboys team, which is I love saying that every episode. First place Dallas Cowboys at 2-1. There is a test coming up with the Carolina Panthers.
Yes,
even though they don't have Christian McCaffrey, even though they are a little banged up on defense as well, this is not an easy task. This is not an easy game. They are 3-0 for a reason, and Sam Darnold is playing some really good football right now at the quarterback position. So what is your biggest concern? Rob, we're going to start with you on this one. Heading into week 4, based off of the short sample size that you've had from the Cowboys so far.
There's not a ton of concerns, but I would go back to what Bob said, and it's the amount of big plays they've allowed, just pure yardage that they've allowed. And that's why these rankings they're misleading, because I forget where the Cowboys are ranked in total defense right now. It's toward the bottom, I think, because of just pure yardage allowed, but they've done a good job not allowing a ton of points and the takeaways, obviously. But there have been some big plays, and you go back to week 2 with Herbert, a couple penalties cost them and prevented even more big yardage. So it's been kind of a bend, don't break thing at times on defense, and there's going to be some more of those games coming in terms of like talent that they're facing, and Darnold is playing well. You're right.
Tied for 26th in total yardage, and if you want to feel better about that number, I mean, of course, you're still winning games and your defense looks better than it has been, but the team that they're tied with is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Oh, right. No.
So isn't that interesting?
Right. So it's a
Tampa Bay's
little
addressing
misleading.
that as of today.
You said what?
Tampa Bay's addressing that as of today.
So yeah, they are. Richard Sherman on his way to the Buccaneers. All right, Isaiah, what's your concern?
My concern for this, Jesus, missed opportunities. My concern is, can we? I believe that through the first 3 weeks, our intensity has been greater than our opponents, even with the loss to Tampa. I think our intensity has been greater. Now, our execution wasn't on point with Tampa Bay in a lot of regards. Our effort was there, right? But I'm not sure that we're going to out-effort these guys. These guys run and fly around offensively and defensively. My concern is, will we match it and not allow them to out-hustle us on every play? Because they do that. They do that. And when you play those teams, the reason why I believe that they're 3-0 is not because they have just some of these amazing playmakers.
And they didn't play anybody and all that.
They didn't play anybody. Like, these dudes, obviously, they haven't had the competition that we've had yet this year.
Sure.
Okay, cool. That's a fun fact of the day. But these guys' effort can't be questioned. That's what happened. When I watch a lot of film in my life. These guys jump off the screen. Every single guy on the field jumps off the screen, and then they have their guys that they rely on to make plays. But the intensity level, what we're seeing on our side of defensively, on that side of the ball, in terms of guys flying to the ball, hitting, being excited, high energy, they have that too on that side of the ball, as well as offensively. So when we start talking about these tight ends, go back and watch the game. Anybody who has the NFL Game Pass, go back and watch these tight ends. These dudes want to run you into the ground. They are high-effort guys that are going 10, 15 yards down the field. These guys present a problem in that regard. How will we meet them? Will we meet them head on when it comes to effort, and will we be able to have the what's the word I'm looking for? The longevity to be able to go through the whole game with that intensity? Can we match that for 4 quarters?
Got to have the stamina.
No, and you know what? I think adding to what you just said, I think it's the Matt Rule effect. If you looked at him from his career in Temple to Baylor, all of his teams, they compete hard. And they finished 5-11 last year, but all of those 11 losses were decided by 8 points or less.
Yep.
And so that means they're highly competitive in all of the games that they're playing in. And so I agree with you. You have to match that intensity. But, Rob, I think I'm in line with what you're talking about, the big plays. And I think that's the thing that's keeping us at 26, because other than that, we're shutting down the run. And the problem with Carolina is that they're number 6 in yards after catch, big play ability, things like that, and we're 31st in that regard. So that is a concern of mine. You know, if we get there to get the guy tackled, get him on the ground. Don't allow tremendous yards after catch. Don't allow drives to continue and methodically allow these guys to go down the field. So I'm going to be looking at that, but I think just the gash plays that we've been giving up is a thing of concern.
That's a legitimate concern. And the reason why I say that is because of the personnel that these guys come out with and how they run their offense, the type of routes that they run from those formations. You cannot play zone against these guys. They will pick you apart. They will pick you apart. All these guys are running curls all at the same level, at the same depth, at 5 different spots. There's a hole in there every single time.
Weait a minute. Are you picking the Panthers?
No. I'm not picking the Panthers. I'm not picking the Panthers. No. Let's not do that. I am acknowledging every week. Listen, we're playing professional football, right? This professional football. Every team's going to have something that you should be concerned about. Okay. Right? So that's why we have this show. We're going to talk about these concerns.
You just puffed up.
No. What I'm saying is we have to play man. We have to play man. So when we start talking about Jabril Cox, when we start talking about Curse and their impact on the game, we're going to have to play man. If you play zone, you will get destroyed. I'm just going to say that today. If we try to play zone, we will get destroyed, especially if we can't get a doggone pass rush. These guys protect the quarterback well until they go empty. As soon as they go empty, they have issues. When they don't go empty, they protect, right? And they don't have to hold the ball on because these guys are running 8 yards down the field. This team is okay catching the ball 8 yards and then coming to the line of scrimmage and then running the ball. And then coming to the line of scrimmage and catching the ball for 8 yards. Like, they're okay working down the field, unlike Philly. Philly wanted to take the big shot, like we talked about, and we made them pay, just like we talked about. This team is okay marching down the field, but when we go man, then we're one-on-one with DJ Moore. Then we're one-on-one with Robbie Anderson. Mm-hmm. Not too many guys faster than Robbie Anderson in this league. So we have to play man against these guys. And then, you guys, to your guys' point, 26 in the league, that's when that really gets highlighted.
Cameron Irvin is a left tackle.
I know that. I saw that.
Get after him. Former Cowboy. I can say former Cowboy because he was on the team last year, but he didn't really play a lot. So, but he is their left tackle.
Famous dude.
Guess who's number 1 on that list in terms of yards allowed per game? Defensively. Guess who's number 1 on that list?
Tampa Bay, right?
Carolina Panthers.
Oh, number 1.
Yeah, they got the number 1 D.
Yep.
191 yards allowed. They're number 1 in rushing yards allowed and number 1 in passing yards allowed.
That's a good thing.
Well, the Cowboys are going to try and muddy up that number a little bit come Sunday. All right, that's it for us here on Talking Cowboys. Tomorrow, we're previewing, I know I said this yesterday at the end of the show, but tomorrow we actually are previewing the Carolina offense and the Cowboys defense on Thursday. And we, of course, get ready into Friday. For Heckma Harrison, Rob Phillips, Isaiah Stanback, and the great Chris Beam in the back, I'm Kyle Yeoman saying so long. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow on Talking Cowboys.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!